Welcome back to the pregame show. We're joined here by Neil Ramirez as the RoughRiders get ready to take on the Midland Rockhounds today. And Neil, a couple bounce-back efforts for you, and then, of course, the gem you threw on Saturday. One of your best outings of the year. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, didn't give up a run in the game, and you didn't walk a guy after the second as well, which has been an off-and-on issue for you this year. How do you feel about where you are here as we approach the first half, the end of the first half today?
Well, I definitely feel like I've gotten better this season and I've progressed well. Eliminating the walks and being efficient with my pitch count has been two big things. And, I try not to go out there and think about not walking guys. I try to think about making quality pitches, and that's really my goal and focus every time I go out there is to just really get strike one and, go from there and get after guys with quality pitches and just keep it to that. So.
And one of the things that Steve Buechele talks about is, learning how to play every day. Now, obviously, that's not something you have to do as a starting pitcher, but you do have to go out there and make a good number of starts. This is not a shorter season. This is nearly like a Major League Baseball season. So when you go start to start, let's say you have not one of your better starts and you're trying to improve upon things. What's it been this year that you've been tweaking? What are you trying to do in between starts to get better when you have a rough outing?
Well, there hasn't really been a whole lot on the mechanical side. I think right now I'm really comfortable with my delivery, and I think if I miss a pitch, I might have just missed. And, being able to make corrections and make adjustments pitch to pitch is huge. So in the bullpens, I just kind of work on making those quality pitches, working with Jeff to have a curveball that I can throw away to lefties, a slider that I can throw away to lefties, and really those kind of things, the things that play in the game is what I try to keep it on now, and it all goes back to the execution of pitches. So in the bullpens and playing catch, it's all about, no mechanical stuff right now, just making pitches to guys, so quality pitches really.
So is that something that's largely a mental game for you, or are you feeling something out physically, this is how I need to feel before this pitch? Is it something that's really more about preparation in the mental side?
Yeah, I think, feeling a certain pitch is huge. That's why in the bullpens I really try to develop feels is what I call them. And for a certain pitch, like maybe a fastball away, what did I feel on that pitch? And, write that stuff down and kind of have that to go back on. So if I'm in a game and I miss, I know that, okay, when I do this, this is where the pitch goes. And, that goes along with the mental side as well. I mean, when you're out there and you have the intent to really throw the pitch where you want to throw it and have what you want to have as far as action, more times than not, it's going to go there. So, making sure I'm dialed in mentally every pitch is huge.
Here with Neil Ramirez, one of the 8 RoughRiders selected to the AllStar game. And Neil, you talked a little bit about your bullpens and where you feel with certain pitches. I wanted to ask you specifically about the curveball, pitch that's been used sporadically by you. From what I've seen, there's some outings where you'll throw it a dozen or more times and a few times where we've barely seen it at all. How does that develop, and is that just a simple question of feel in the bullpen? And how is that pitch, for you right now? Where are you feeling with that?
Well, it has been a pitch, I think, that has given me the most trouble this year as far as feeling a consistent release point with it. And, these last couple outings, just the changeup has really come along. And, I'm really not a guy that goes out there and says, okay, I want to throw, however many curveballs. I go out there and I throw what I think I need to throw to get the hitter out. And if it's a curveball, I'll throw a curveball or, whatever. So right now I definitely haven't gotten away from it when I'm playing catch and when I'm in my bullpens. It's just a matter of, where in the game and what time the game dictates when I want to throw it, or just how I'm feeling with it. The slider's working a little better that day, so I definitely don't want to get away from it, and I'm feel comfortable with it. So it's just a matter of getting it in the game more now, maybe. So.
And when it's not feeling right, is it more a question of results? You see the curveball not placed where you want or breaking like you want it to, and so you know that it's not there that day, or is it that you feel something coming out of your hand that just doesn't feel right?
Yeah, some days it just doesn't. The action on it's not as good. I'm not throwing it consistently for strikes. The slider's kind of been my breaking pitch that I've thrown more consistently for strikes, and the curveball kind of more for put away. So developing the feel for that curveball strike and the curveball out of the zone are definitely two of the things I'm going to focus on moving forward.
Here with Neil Ramirez, a starting pitcher for the Frisco RoughRiders. Neil, the sample size isn't large yet, but you've been a lot better really away from here on the road this year. Sub-2 ERA, whereas you've allowed nearly twice as many runs here at Dr. Pepper Ballpark. You go on throw a great game on Saturday. Could you have any explanation for that? Is it just a matter of sample size? Have you felt more comfortable on the road? Maybe there was something that felt different for you on Saturday that led to your success.
Yeah, I can't really say that I've felt different on the road or at home. I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where you had an off day. You have those two as a pitcher. So, I don't try to buy into that too much. I mean, I try to go out there, whether I'm at home or on the road, and make quality pitches and give my team a chance to win. So,
talk a little bit about your routine. What is it like when you come in on a day you're going to pitch, and maybe the differences between a home and road routine day, if there is any at all?
Well, the thing about routines, you kind of want to have it so it's the same anywhere you go. And, my routine basically now is, come in, just do a little bit of light foam rolling, and then I kind of have a little mental checklist, I guess you can say, that I go through about 10 minutes to find, a place where I'm not being disturbed too much and go through that. And it kind of really gets me dialed in mentally for the game with a lot of, positive emotions. And, and it also helps calm any, adrenaline issues or anxiety issues that I might be having, because everybody gets nervous before they pitch. So, I used to do a lot before I went out there, and I realized now, after having a little bit of time in the bullpen last year, that you don't really have to do a whole lot to get ready. So now I kind of keep it simple with the foam rolling and then the mental thing, and then go out there and just get warmed up and get ready to go.
Two things here as we approach the midway point. One, I talked to you at the very beginning of the season, and you said one of the things this year, you wanted to give your body a few more days off. You said maybe that you had overworked yourself in the past. And now that we're 70 games into the season, where do you feel physically? Do you feel like you've been able to give your body some rest, and are you seeing positive results because of that?
Yeah, my body feels good. Definitely better than I have in the past. And, keeping up with nutrition and recovery are two huge things for me. You really have to learn how to listen to your body. And, there's days where you can go out there on your bullpen day and your arm feels great, and there's days where it doesn't. So on those days where you feel great, you can hump up a little bit more, and then on those days where you don't feel good, learn how to, just get what you need on the mound and get off. So, just learning to listen to your body, I think, is the biggest thing, and making sure that you're, getting your rest, getting your recovery, and, keeping solid with the routine that you have.
Well, it's worked well for you this year. You and Carlos Pimentel, the two starters from this team that are going to the All-Star game. Considering the roller coaster ride that you went through last year and a down year for you, and the success you've had here this year, how much more does that All-Star selection mean to you? Considering that things didn't go really the way you wanted to last year.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. The work that I put in the off season, really to come in this year and put that kind of stuff that happened last year behind me and to learn from it. And I feel like I've been able to do that. And, there's a lot of times in this game where you're going to face adversity and struggle, and you can either learn from it or let it defeat you. And I feel like I definitely learned and grew as a player from it. And, I'm just happy to be where I'm at right now. And, there's a lot of work to do still, and I look forward to a lot in the future. So I'm just going to keep working every day.
Was it something that you looked for at the beginning of the year, said, I want to make the All-Star game this year? It would be your first in your professional career.
Yeah, well, I try to keep my goals all, process-oriented. I don't try to get caught up in results too much. So, I think that's a process of being focused on the process, if you want to say it like that. So, like I said, I really try to keep my goals simple to come here and get better every day. So I think it played out well.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, Neil. You're off to a great start. Congratulations on the All-Star selection. Good luck here the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That was Neil Ramirez. We'll be back with more on the Frisco RoughRiders Baseball Network.